I want to thank you for coming down this morning, and you and I have had plenty of chance to have conversations before, but this is our first one on video. What went on that you ended up coming into the hospital?
Well, Jesus was giving me all these window crack and screen crack sounds, telling me that they was going to break into the house. So I put the camera stereo in the room where they chiseled the window out to come through the window.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera stereo, the security guards picked that up, the message, by putting that camera in that room.
Mm-hmm. Were you in danger?
Well, if anyone gets into the house, they said I get shot.
Who said?
That's the eagle.
Can you say a little something about the eagle?
Well, the eagle works through General Motors. They have something to do with my General Motors check I get every month.
Mm-hmm. Now you get that check because it's part of your husband's work with GM?
Yes.
Say something more about the relationship between GM and the eagle.
Well, when you do the 25 of the clock, it means that you leave the house 25 after 1 to mail letters, so that they can check on you how you're mailing the mail, and they know where you're at that time.
And who's they?
That's the eagle.
Okay. And is the eagle something that is looking out after you, or is there a chance that the eagle could hurt you?
Well, they're the before on the clock. That's the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and 3. They go by those numbers of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do the 25 after, that's the after side of the clock. We go by the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5, you go right left to 7 number on the clock is the fire number. You go right left to that number.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the 25 is. If you don't do something they tell you to do, and Jesus makes the shotgun sound, and then the phone rang, not to answer the phone or the doorbell.
Why not?
Because you get shot.
Who would do the shooting?
The eagle.
I'm wondering, though, whether these kinds of experiences that you have are really unique to you, whether there's something special about your relationship with Jesus, or whether this is the kind of relationship that other people may be having too.
Well,
what's your personal feeling about that?
Well, I don't like to judge anybody.
I know I'm asking you a tough question. And I don't want to put you in the position of feeling that you're having to brag or put anybody else down. Do you think Jesus answers just anybody's request?
I know that to have that money, that Jesus helps you with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just trusted in Jesus to help me with that 25. I answered all of his messages. I went and bought notebook paper, and I wrote down the time and what I heard in a sentence. Mm-hmm. So that Jesus kept answering my messages.
Etta, are any of your thoughts or actions controlled by Jesus or General Motors or any of these forces?
I was getting messages around the clock.
From
Jesus, even 12 o'clock at night. If I heard something in the alley, if I heard dogs barking, I would get up and I would look at the clock, and I would write that down, what time I heard the dog, just to let Jesus know that I'm answering him.
Now, have you ever had the experience where you heard besides these noises around the house, have you ever had the experience where you heard the radio or the television talking and you realized that there was a message on there meant for you? Kind of another signal for you.
Yes, I had mentioned to a nurse I was talking to that I ought to get a guard dog when I go home.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now say why that is.
well, and then on the news, I heard that a guard dog killed a child just the other day, and they put the guard dog to sleep.
Yeah. What did you think about that?
I think Jesus was sending a message to me.
Could you tell me, what's your mood been like? Or was there a time where you were just sad for weeks?
Well, that shotgun went on from 1990 till now, till the security guards brought me in the hospital.
But I'm wondering whether you got sad and stayed sad.
Well, in a way I was, and then in a way I wasn't, because I trusted in Jesus to protect me.
Okay.
Because the Bible says that God protects widows.
How do you feel now in terms of your mood? Are you sad now?
No, because I don't hear crack sounds no more.
At any of this time when all this was going on, were you feeling particularly up? Euphoric or high?
I was so busy answering Jesus' message around the clock.
What did you do right after high school?
I went to business school, and I took a course in typing. And I went to Missouri State Employment, and I took a typing test there, and I passed it. And they found my job, and then I got pregnant working, and they let me work 6 months pregnant.
Did you go back to work after the children were older?
No. Then my husband died in 1985, and my son was being graduated from 8th grade when he died.
How did you do shopping for groceries, for example?
Well, they said that my son does the grocery shopping, and if he doesn't do the grocery shopping, the house goes to me and my granddaughter.
So that's really a requirement for him,
Yes.
that he does that.
Doing the 25 of the clock.
Okay. Well, he has to stick to that timing too?
Well, he's the before, but he believes in Jesus also. And he told me, he said, Mom, I don't want to go there. And I said, well, I'll try to help you out.
Go where?
Go left.
Okay. Can you tell me, what was the first time that you had a psychiatric hospitalization? What year was that?
That was in 1975.
Okay. But at that time, were you getting these messages or these signals and the involvement with Jesus and GM and all of that?
No, because my children were going to school, and I was busy helping them with their work.
Okay. Etta, in 1975, when you got hospitalized, in your mind, what was that about? Why did you get hospitalized?
Well, I seen Dr. Krojanker there, and he gave me Thorazine, because my son was 2 years old, and a child can get on your nerves when they climb and want to get into everything. And then I had a cope with the teachers at school. They wanted me, to help my child with homework.
Mm-hmm.
And then my son was 2 years old. He was getting into everything, That kept me busy.
Right. I think you also mentioned your in-laws had moved in.
Yeah.
And that was also a stress.
Yes.
Did you feel depressed at that time?
Well,
Have you been able to enjoy yourself at all, have fun since 1990?
well, I think I spent all my time writing messages what Jesus gave me, so he would keep giving me messages.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happened to things that you used to do for fun?
Well, you really don't have no fun when you got a shotgun behind your head.
Yeah, okay. And I want to thank you very much.
I hope I did all right.